I'm recording this from a boat, and I know that the setting might feel a little bit disconnected from what I'm about to share. But here's the thing, this reflection that I'm having right now, I didn't get to it by working nonstop. It happened because I learned to pause. You know, sometimes we get so caught up with work and life that we forget one simple truth. And it's that stopping is part of the process. It's not because we are lazy, but because the momentum of things can often trick us. Momentum can feel like progress, but the thing is, without reflection, you're just moving, not moving forward. When I was younger, I used to work in restaurants, in bars, in clubs, and I didn't do it because I wanted to gain experience. I genuinely had to. I became independent from my parents when I was 18. I stopped receiving pocket money when I was 15. If I wanted to do weekend plans, I had to pay for it. If I wanted to buy a phone, I had to pay for it. If I wanted to go on a nice trip, well, if it was their idea, they would pay for it. But if it was something that I wanted to do with my friends, then I had to get the money for it. And the thing that bothered me most of all is that the other people in my school, my friends, they didn't have to work a job. They were getting everything paid by their parents. I was actually embarrassed to admit that I had to work. So I was just making some random explanations of why I was doing it. I was saying that I wanted to enter the job market early or that I wanted to gain work experience. I wouldn't just say that my parents weren't willing to pay stuff for me. The plain truth was that I needed the money. There was a strong sense of urgency of driving everything. I was constantly rushing, trying to make it through the day, finding the next thing to do. I was putting in the orders, handling the table, saying hello, getting the stuff ready, preparing the inventory in the fridge. I know, all the stuff that you need to do, right? But I was just keeping up with the pace. I felt like I was being productive, like my logic was telling me this is good, because the moment you're not stopping, it feels like everything is going well. My body was thriving on that sense of accomplishment. But even though I was feeling productive, in reality I was in autopilot. My brain was just trying to get through the shift, getting enough money to pay for the stuff that I wanted to get. It wasn't until I paused that I noticed there were better ways to do some things. It's like working in a restaurant. When you're just working, surviving through the shift, you forget about the bigger picture. But when you step back, you can suddenly see there's better ways of optimizing the inventory. How can we optimize time to serve more tables in the same amount of times without increasing headcount? Repetition without reflection teaches you shortcuts, but reflection transforms repetition into insight. And here's where it gets dangerous, because the money was coming in and all of those sudden opportunities were becoming tempting. I was being offered a career within those jobs. I was told I could get a promotion. And I was just thinking, more hours, more positions, more money. Oh yeah, I could earn a lot of money like this. And that wasn't smart at all. There was this pull, this inertia, where part of me thought that that could be the right path for me. I just needed to stay on track. It was just a nice salary at the end of the month. And while I was studying, there was none of it. Work more, study less, at least for now. That's how I was thinking about it. The immediate reward of a paycheck versus the uncertainty of seeing what happens once you get that degree. I heard from everyone in my environment that that wasn't the right path forward. But I could feel how easy it was to just keep going, to not think about it and just do it. To follow that career ladder, just going up, moving to that next position. It wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but I was in motion and I could see it working. So why change now, right? But that moment of stopping, having those breaks to think about what it is that I want for my life made me realize, hey, I can achieve much more. If I finish my degree, I will have a higher salary by default, although that wasn't the case in Spain at the beginning. That pause made me realize I was optimizing for the wrong thing. I was optimizing for short-term money, short-term rewards. Your version to this might look completely different. Maybe you're just at the office responding to emails, or maybe you're just doing your shift, working in school. Maybe you just have tasks that you're completing without thinking about it. It's a different environment, but the pattern is still the same. It's motion without progress. Then I went through some experiences that completely changed the way I saw things. So many years ago, I went to a sailing trip to Greece. It was at the time where we didn't have weather apps. You relied on asking for a forecast at the pier. And so I did that, and another person did the same. And the forecast was supposed to be good. But apparently that wasn't the reality. And we ended up in a pretty bad storm. I hadn't slept the night before, and I just wanted to sleep. And so I was sleeping in between the table and the seat, trying to lean in into the inertia of the movement of the boat. And all of a sudden, I wake up, I open my eyes, and I see a 5-meter downfall. I could only manage to get myself onto my feet, to weirdly stand up, get to the bathroom, and throw up. I wasn't sure we were gonna make it. We were even being called in the radio. Why were we out there? On another trip, bureaucracy forced us into a very challenging situation. It was just my dad and I. We needed to cross during a Bora storm because of customs law. We talked to the police and they couldn't help us avoid it. Some of them started saying, "This is insane, they cannot do that. They're risking their life. The law cannot force someone to risk their lives." But then there was this, I don't know if it was a captain or I don't know what the name of the rank is, who stood in the middle of everyone and said, "The law is the law and we must comply with the law." And that's when I said to my dad, well, we are not getting away from it. And so we took off to sea. The weather forecast was horrible. If you've ever been in Croatia, you've heard about Bora. Water is coming into the streets. The winds are between 70, 100 kilometers per hour sometimes. The day I arrived to Croatia, we had 18 degrees. The morning we decided to go into the adventure, we woke up at 3 a.m. We had -3 degrees. I didn't have the proper clothing for it, and we just went on with the adventure. It was freezing cold. I remember making some tea and thinking about whether what we were about to do made any sense at all. But it seemed like it was the only way going forward because time was of the essence. And since I didn't know whether I would come back, I just drafted this email sharing that I might not come back. After everything cleared up, you get back to reality, right? But before that, thinking about what had happened reprioritized everything. Office politics didn't matter anymore. A promotion, didn't care so much about it. I think I even quit my job shortly after that. Everything that mattered in that moment were relationships, experiences, what I had lived, what I didn't. And the thing is, that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't gone through that experience. I'm not telling you to go through a life-threatening situation, but there are many different adventures, many different experiences that can change the way that your brain operates, that can help you slow down, that can help you learn something else. It's like working on the restaurant. When you're just working that shift, you're just thinking about surviving the shift. You're not thinking of the value of the things that you are doing half. When you return from something like that, you see everything differently. Not because the problems have changed. Your brain has recalibrated everything that you thought. The presentation that felt life-threatening doesn't seem so scary anymore. You just tackle it. And that recalibration, that perspective doesn't require you to do something life-threatening. It can be an intense or adventurous situation. Sometimes it can just be something that breaks the pattern of how your brain processes everything. It resets how your brain weights the importance. This pattern of autopilot, of needing recalibration, it happens in every life stage, just in different forms. Life always seems to balance three things: money, time, and energy. When you're young, you have time and you have the energy, but you're broke. When you grow more into the middle age, you have the money and you have the energy, but you don't have any time. Later in life, you might have time and money, but you just don't have the energy or perhaps the health to do what it is that you wanted to do. Rarely do we have the three things at once. That's why taking a step back, learning, reflecting, gaining some perspective can be good at any of those stages in life. And stepping away from routine isn't just about rest. It's about gaining that perspective. It allows the brain to see things differently. Doing other things like traveling, learning, exploring something completely different. It forces your brain to notice patterns that otherwise you would have missed. And sometimes solutions appear in ways that we never expected. Perhaps because of doing something completely different, you have cross-pollination and you bring the skill that you've learned through that thing into resolving a completely unrelated work problem. Distance and new experiences allow the brain to get creative, to experience new things. And with all of those new things, insights emerge naturally. This isn't just about work, it's a human pattern. When you're in motion, constant movement feels like progress. But clarity and real progress come from staying still, from reflecting, and from gaining perspective. Taking a pause allows us to see what's really important. We start noticing opportunities that we otherwise would have missed. And we are able to transform that repetition into an insight. And this is something that holds true whether you're young, middle-aged, or already more experienced in life. You can always gain perspective if you step back long enough to see the bigger picture. So here's what I want you to take from this. The next time you feel trapped in motion, remember that pausing isn't a weakness. It's a recalibration. Step aside, even if it's briefly. Go for a walk, try a new sport, go to a dance class. Do something that is completely unrelated to the activity that you were doing. The insight you need is probably already there. You just need to create the space for it to emerge. The answers, the clarity, and the insights are probably already there, waiting for you to notice them. And they are on the other side of that pause and perspective. Thanks a lot, and have a great pause.